Occurred, the 31st of March 2015, 21 hours 30 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, triangle. Duration, 30 seconds. No of observers. 1 characteristics, lights on object, aura or haze around object. Walked outside to see a craft I couldn't believe, even as I was staring at it, trying to find reason to dismiss it. I was leaving my house at around 9:30 p.m. to run to Arby's to get some dinner. As I walked out, I noticed how clear the sky was and looked towards Orion, since it is always in view and beautiful on a clear night from my front yard. As I looked at Orion, I seen an airplane flying in front of it. Now here is the strange part. As I turned my head towards the southeast to scan the sky, I seen a triangle craft with 4 large lights, almost taking up the whole bottom of the plane, gliding across the sky, almost directly overhead. After I caught view of the craft, my mouth dropped and I turned away. Having seen this same thing as a child, I always wondered if I was just tired as a kid and imagined something. When I turned back to the craft, it was to my surprise that it was still there. It continued completely silently across the sky until I lost view of it behind a tree in the horizon. Now I feel pretty fortunate because this was a long enough event that I was able to process some of it while it was happening. Initially my mind said, wow, that is a unique craft. Maybe the local Air Guard base is trying out some new toys, or there is a stealth mission flying overhead, as neither of these events are uncommon. And I try to be skeptical, maybe to a fault. After I thought of this, I strained to focus on the craft. It was then I noticed that the craft had a triangle-shaped fuselage, for lack of a better word. Coming off of this fuselage were wings, coming off the rear of the craft, extending the overall triangle shape of the craft. It is hard to describe through text, but it was like a large triangle with the bottom third missing except for strips along the edges. There was 2 large lights on the fuselage taking up the majority of the frame, while the wings or tails had 2 lights about half the size, again taking up the majority of the frame of the craft. They were a dim yellow, constant, and I can think of no purpose for them. They were not indication lights, unless it was to indicate to someone below the craft. The movement of the craft was completely silent. When I was trying to figure out what it was, I paused a moment and tried to listen to anything that might be a jet engine, only to hear nothing of the sort, just normal city noise. Now the size of the craft is something that confuses me. I hesitate to offer an estimation as I have no real source for my comparison except everyday life. To me it looked the size of a jetliner, maybe 1 to 5,000 feet up. A comparison for me would be a jetliner taking off and being maybe 30 to 45 seconds into flight. Not that I've seen that exact scenario, but that is the estimation I can give. It looked huge, I could see the edges, I could make the outline, but it appeared as though it was shrouded by clouds. It could be that the craft was huge and flying in the clouds, but there is no way any craft I've seen would look that big being up in the clouds. If this craft was up in the clouds, I couldn't even give you an estimate as to size. I have no comparison, simple as that. If the craft were closer to ground, the size would seem more plausible, barely. Still, the shape and silence of the craft wouldn't. But nonetheless, closer to the ground brings the issue of why was it shrouded by clouds. I won't deny that I have had a fascination with UFOs, airplanes, spacecraft, science in general, which makes this experience even more shaking. I frequent NASA's page, I play computer games where you build aircraft, I've always had a passion for aviation. I could not explain what I was looking at. Even while I was looking at it, trying to think of possible critiques and explanations.
Location: Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape: light duration, 30 seconds. No of observers. 3 characteristics: lights on object, 2 white lights seen stationary, then parted, and traveled out of sight. Driving due south January 29, 2014, at 2000, 3 witnesses spotted a white light that was somewhat stationary in the sky. We rolled down the windows, but heard no noise. There was another light that was close to the main light, then it parted from that light and both continued in a due west direction. The lights disappeared behind the trees within about 30 seconds of the spotting. These lights were stationary at first, then seemed to distance each other. then proceed to travel at about the same speed out of sight.
Occurred, the 7th of October 2013, 23 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, light duration, all night, every night. Known of observers. 5 characteristics, lights on object, emitted beams, star-like objects moving in random directions. Every night for the past week my friends and I have been seeing star-like objects in the sky. They move in random directions but stay in the same general area. They go in circles, zigzags, straight left or right and up and down. At first glance they look exactly like stars. But when you pay attention to one for a while you will realize it's moving. Sometimes they move kinda slow, and others move really fast. They are all over the sky, and we see them every single night all night long. I can't think of any explanation for these things. I've never seen anything like them.
Occurred, the 24th of September 2013, 20 hours 30 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, flash duration, 1 minute. Know of observers. 2 characteristics, lights on object, Midwest. Clear sky, unidentified flashing object. A very clear night. Right before the clouds came I seen a flashing bright white light, flashed every second and would be in further position in sky when it would reappear. I thought I may have been mistaken until it made a circular turn in mid-flight and went in a total different direction. I know planes have flashing blue and red lights and I have never seen a plane move like that, ever. I knew no one else would believe me. I quickly went to grab my phone to record. Behold, low battery warning, would NT allow it? So disappointing. For now.
Occurred, the 8th of September 2013, 22 hours 30 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, fireball duration, 10 minutes. Know of observers. 2 characteristics, lights on object, aura or haze around object, changed color to UFO above Fort Wayne. We were in Lutheran Park walking the dogs when my friend spotted 2 orange flickering balls in sky, traveling north out the southwest sky. We watched them zigzag across the sky. The lead ball flickered white and disappeared under the moon. The second orb continued to zigzag and then stopped and hovered for about 5 minutes, then went straight up out of sight.
Occurred, the 24th of August 2013, 22 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, circle duration, 30 minutes. Know of observers. 8 characteristics, aircraft nearby. 2 circle bright white objects seen by 8 witnesses. My family was sitting outside roasting marshmallows over a fire in our backyard when we seen 2 circle bright white objects. One moving very fast and disappeared. The other moved very slow in the opposite direction for 20 minutes. No sound at all, just a bright white light. We live close to the airport, so we know these were not planes.
Occurred, the 21st of August 2013, 21 hours 15 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, fireball duration, 10 minutes. Know of observers. 2 characteristics, aura or haze around object, changed color, glowing object in sky. My daughter and I stepped out of our truck as I noticed a glowing object flying across the sky. The object appeared to be flying from the SW and slightly turned to a north direction. No sound, no blinking lights, appeared to be at a high altitude, could not make out any type of shape. Object seemed to get brighter to dim over a 10 to 20 second time period and kept repeating this. We watched this for about 7 to 10 minutes until it seemed to disappear. Cell phone acted really weird afterwards. I took photos of said object.
Occurred, the 17th of August 2013, 22 hours 10 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Fort Wayne, Indiana, USA. Shape, unknown duration, 5 to 10 minutes. Know of observers. 4 characteristics, lights on object, orange, yellow lights in formation moving. Fort Wayne, Indiana. We first observed 7 objects. 4 of them made a diamond-like formation with 3 trailing behind them. All had the same color of an orange-yellow light. The 3 following the diamond formation were in a line in my opinion. Then a circular object with no lights passed by the moonlight and was seen but did not capture that on video. Once the 4 lights in formation disappeared, 2 additional lights followed into the line that was formed. So a total of 9 lights were sent. I will have to download my video to my computer and upload what we saw. amazing and scary at the same time. The whole event lasted a ppx 5 to 7 minutes long. They moved pretty fast cause at first the thought could be lanterns, but they moved too fast and in a pattern.